gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. But I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, Shadow Realm? It's the Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video.
A man is now behind bars after a triple shooting that killed 2 people in Tuscaloosa. The sheriff's office says police responded late last night at Woodlawn Manor along First Avenue. Investigators say Kaliyah Houston and her 16-year-old sister were killed. A 17-year-old boy was also shot but is expected to survive.
Wow. So we have a triple shooting here, double homicide. 2 sisters killed in the same apartment complex setting. Just a very sad story. This story actually isn't getting that much headway. It hasn't really left the city of Tuscaloosa, but you know, we've covered Alabama, for instance, Mobile. We've covered Tuscaloosa. We've covered Montgomery. We've covered a significant amount of cities in Alabama where these types of crimes occur, and man, it's just a stain on the reputation of the community. You know, there were a lot of civil rights movements going on in Alabama about 50 years ago, and you know, it really just feels like a lot of that progress, social progress, political progress, and just societal progress in general has been lost, unfortunately, due to the deterioration of Black American culture. And I'm at a loss for words because, you know, the man who ended up shooting these sisters, apparently these young girls were trying to help him out in some way. So not really sure about the specifics, but we will be learning along the way because, you know, I react to these stories live. So just another sad story. 2 Black women shot and killed, another injured. We don't have BLM out here protesting. We don't have, you know, Protect Black Women protesting. We don't have any of these movements speaking on this. All you got is me, Jinquavius Jackson, to let you know that these super gremlins are on demon time.
This is video of that investigation early this morning. Witnesses say Houston had allowed a man to live in her apartment the last few months, and there was an argument last night. The man pulled out a gun and started shooting. Several other young kids, including an infant, were also there but were not shot. The man ran off after shots were fired. U.S. Marshals later found Keshawn Woods and arrested him. He's in the Tuscaloosa County Jail without bond on charges of capital murder and attempted murder.
Now in Tuscaloosa, where an investigation continues this morning. That's after 2 sisters were shot and killed. Investigators say a man shot and killed 20-year-old Kaliyah Houston and her 16-year-old sister on First Avenue at Woodlawn Manor Apartments. Around 11:30 last night, a 17-year-old boy was also shot but was able to escape and get help. Now, officers say last night an argument took place. That's when 19-year-old Keshawn Woods pulled out a gun and started shooting. Investigators say there were also several young children, including an infant, in the apartment. But
dang, so got in an argument in the apartment. I told you guys about these apartments, these Section 8 government housing apartments. Definitely looks like they're getting a stipend in these apartments. But for him to get in an argument and crash out when there were children in the home is just another example of these YNs just not having the ability to be criticized, not having the ability to go back and forth intellectually in a conversation or disagreement. And it's just sad that this is what it resulted in and what it comes down to.
17-year-old boy was also shot but was able to escape and get help. Now, officers say last night an argument took place. That's when 19-year-old Keshawn Woods pulled out a gun and started shooting. Investigators say there were also several young children, including an infant, in the apartment, but fortunately they were not hit. Officers say Woods had been living with Houston for the past few months. He was arrested a few hours after that shooting, and he faces capital murder and attempted murder charges. Now in Tuscaloosa, where an investigation continues this morning, that's after two sisters were shot and killed. Investigators say a man shot and killed 20-year-old Kaliyah Houston and her 16-year-old sister on First Avenue at Woodlawn Manor Apartments. Around 11:30 last night, a 17-year-old boy was also shot but was able to escape and get help. Now, officers say last night an argument took place. That's when 19-year-old Keshawn Woods pulled out a gun and started shooting. Investigators say there were also several young children, including an infant, in the apartment, but fortunately they were not hit. Officers say Woods had been living with Houston for the past few months. He was arrested a few hours after that shooting, and he faces capital murder and attempted murder charges.
What's good, Shadow Realm? It's your boy Jenquavius Jackson, and y'all already know I'm demonetized and shadow banned in this bitch. So if you want to contribute, go to the Cash App, the PayPal, the GoFundMe, or join the Patreon. Also, don't forget to visit the merch store for all your favorite BGZM News 17 gear, including our exclusive Trump is a Blood t-shirt. Go fast before they sell out. They are already flying off the shelves, no cap. And remember, these super gremlins are on demon time.
News on the 4. We are in West Alabama, continuing to follow that horrific story. Two sisters shot and killed in an apartment complex late last night in Tuscaloosa.
Well, authorities are telling us a third teenager was also shot but is expected to survive. You're getting a look now at the scene from First Avenue overnight. Right now, a 19-year-old is charged tonight in that deadly shooting.
Your Tuscaloosa reporter Brian Henry joins us now live with new reaction to this tragedy.
Hey, Morgan and Sarah, Tuscaloosa city leaders are calling this deadly shooting evil. Meantime, investigators are working right now to learn more about what happened last night and why. A triple shooting, 2 dead, 1 injured. It all unfolded Monday night at 11:30 at Woodlawn Manor Apartments on First Avenue in Tuscaloosa.
It's just pure evil.
Tuscaloosa Mayor Walt Maddox, who attended the Veterans Day ceremony Tuesday, chimed in on the triple shooting. Although tragic by any measure, the mayor also said the shootings have to be put in perspective when it comes to the overall violent crime rate in Tuscaloosa.
We have a 25% reduction this year in violent crimes and over 34% reduction in property crimes. Tuscaloosa's homicide rate is lower than it was 20 years ago.
So, you know, he's speaking to the violence, and he went directly to numbers. You know, I don't know if this was in response of a question, but I think it is a lot more appropriate to acknowledge the victims, direct your sympathies and your prayers towards them, and then keep it pushing, you know, to say, oh, well, violent crime is down. This one is a isolated incident. Yeah, sure. I mean, I get it. He's trying to save his job and make it appear so that the city is a lot safer than maybe residents are feeling at the moment. But I just think maybe now was not the appropriate time to kind of rattle off the numbers for how, you know, how peaceful your city is when you just have a triple shooting, double homicide.
Still, Mayor Walt Maddox didn't lose sight of the families hurting right now because of what happened at Woodlawn Manor.
You know, I've been doing this for 20 years, and there are just certain situations that frankly just make you question the motives of some people in this world.
We do know 3 people were shot. The 2 who died were 20-year-old Kaliyah Houston and her 16-year-old sister. A 17-year-old boy was also shot, but is expected to survive.
The fact that conflict results in this type of bloodshed and tragedy, it just doesn't make sense.
Authorities say they've charged Keshawn Jermichael Woods with 2 counts of capital murder and 1 count of attempted murder. Police say Woods had been allowed to live in the apartment for the last few months. Investigators say the shooting happened during an argument.
So he was able to live in the apartment for the last few months. They were helping him out living in the apartment. didn't have no expenses. They probably, you know, pressed them a little bit on maybe getting a job or maybe seeking employment, seeking a way to pay some of the bills in the home, and nothing. He wasn't receiving it, and he completely crashed out.
Mayor Maddox applauded the quick arrest in the case.
And I'm very proud that the Tuscaloosa Police Department, working with the U.S. Marshal Task Force, had this suspect in custody in a pretty quick manner.
2 dead, 1 injured. A suspect is in jail who is not allowed to post a bond. Authorities say Woods ran from the crime scene last night but was arrested a few hours later. They also say that other children and a baby were in that same apartment when the shooting started. Thankfully, though, they were not hurt. Your reporter in Tuscaloosa, Brian Henry, WBRC 6 News, on your side.
All right, guys, so we do have images of these 2 sisters that were shot and killed. The family is seeking burial help. But we got Kaliyah Houston and Christasia Prewitt. One was 20, one was 16. Shot and killed in the Tuscaloosa apartments. Here's the shooter, Keshawn Jermichael Woods. Mugshot pretty much tells you everything you need to know. But damn, didn't have to be like this. Again, the community is on fire. This is something that needs to be spoken about. Group accountability, group acknowledgement, and that's the only way we're going to be able to move forward. But unfortunately, these 2 young ladies had to lose their lives. Again, where are the activists in these shootings? Do they even care? I don't know. But what we do know is these super gremlins are on demon time.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
Guess what? I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. But I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.